The underestimated prototype. The Galactic Conclave had existed for 17 millennia before humanity stumbled onto the interstellar scene. Composed of 23 advanced species, the Conclave controlled everything from resource allocation to military defense across 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way. When humans finally cracked viable faster-than-light travel and made first contact, the reception had been tepid at best. Primitives with delusions of grandeur, High Counselor Vexor of the Altarian Dominion had called them. His crystalline exoskeleton shimmered with barely concealed disdain as Earth's ambassadors stood before the Conclave's towering obsidian chamber. Their technology is centuries behind even our most rudimentary systems. Earth had been granted provisional membership, a polite way of saying humans could observe but not participate in galactic governance. The terms were clear. Humanity could establish colonies within a tightly restricted zone around Sol, but military expansion was forbidden until Earth demonstrated sufficient technological advancement. Commander Elena Rice watched the memory replay on her neural implant as she stood on the Nightingale's bridge. 3 years of humanity playing the obedient newcomer, smiling and nodding while the conclave species condescended to them at every turn. The corner of her mouth twitched upward. "Commander." First Officer Takeda interrupted her thoughts. "Conclave inspection team requesting permission to board." Elena nodded. "Let them come. And remember, look suitably embarrassed." The Nightingale was humanity's secret ace, a prototype vessel that appeared, by all external measures, to be a laughably outdated patrol ship. Its hull was deliberately asymmetrical, with visible welding seams and mismatched plating. The propulsion system appeared to be a standard fusion drive, at least a century behind conclave standards. The inspection team consisted of 4 species: a towering Altarian, whose crystalline form refracted light into rainbow patterns across the docking bay; 2 Zexians with their characteristic blue exoskeletons and compound eyes; a gelatinous Morrigan who flowed rather than walked; and a mechanoid Tarsian, whose consciousness resided in an intricate metal frame. "This is your newest military vessel." The Altarian's translator conveyed perfect basic, but couldn't hide the contempt in his harmonic tones. Elena bowed slightly. "The Nightingale is our latest patrol craft, yes. We're quite proud of her capabilities." Capabilities. The Morrigan's form rippled with what humans had learned was their equivalent of laughter. "Your fusion drive would struggle to outpace our civilian transports." "We work with what we have," Elena replied humbly, playing the role assigned to her by Earth's Central Command. "Perhaps one day we'll earn the privilege of technological exchange with the Conclave." The inspection took 3 hours. The aliens scanned every visible system, took readings of the engine output, and examined the crew quarters with unconcealed pity. When they finally departed, Elena could feel their dismissal like a physical weight. Primitive, the Altarian had concluded, but harmless. They comply with conclave restrictions. As their shuttle departed, Elena's communications officer straightened in his chair. "Commander, incoming transmission from Earth Central. Priority Alpha." The holographic display activated, showing Admiral Hassan's stern features. "Commander Reyes, the Carven Battle Group has breached the Epsilon Eridani system. 19 colony ships with over 30,000 civilians are in immediate danger." Elena felt her heart rate accelerate. The Carven, a non-conclave species from the Outer Rim, had been raiding border worlds for decades. The Conclave maintained a policy of containment rather than confrontation, more concerned with politics than protecting vulnerable systems. "Conclave response?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "They're assembling a diplomatic delegation to address the incursion," Hassan replied, his disgust evident. "By the time they act, Epsilon Eridani will be ash. The Nightingale is our only asset in range." Elena nodded once. "Understood, Admiral. We're on our way." The Nightingale's true propulsion system, a quantum-fold drive that bent space-time rather than traveling through it, brought them to Epsilon Eridani in minutes rather than days. The scene that greeted them was chaos. 7 massive Carven warships, each bristling with plasma cannons, surrounding the colony planet. Already, orbital defenses were falling silent. Tactical assessment, Elena ordered. Lieutenant Commander Jackson, a former physicist who'd helped develop the technology that made the Nightingale possible, brought up a holographic display. Carven fleet consists of 5 Ravager-class battleships and 2 command carriers. Each Ravager can glass a continent in hours. Conservative estimate: 30,000 Carven troops, minimal civilian presence. Communications: hail the Carven flagship. Moments later, a reptilian face filled the view screen. Golden scales framed yellow, slitted eyes, and a mouth full of serrated teeth. Human vessel, the Carven commander hissed. You have entered a combat zone. Retreat immediately or be destroyed. Elena stood, her posture deliberately casual. This is Commander Elena Reyes of the Earth vessel Nightingale. You are in violation of Conclave space and threatening the human colony. Withdraw immediately. The Carven's laugh was like grinding metal. 1 small patrol craft against 7 warships. The humans are either brave or suicidal. No matter. You will make amusing sport before we turn to the colony. The transmission cut off. Immediately, 3 Carven vessels broke formation, turning their massive bulk toward the seemingly insignificant human ship. They're targeting us, Jackson reported. Energy weapons charging. Elena took a deep breath. 3 years of deception, of playing the technological inferior, had led to this moment. Initiate Lazarus Protocol. Throughout the ship, hidden systems whirred to life. The Nightingale's outer hull, designed to appear ramshackle and outdated, began to reconfigure. Panels shifted, revealing pristine inner layers of metamaterials that had been invisible to Conclave scans. The fusion drive retracted, replaced by the glowing blue core of the quantum fold projector. Lazarus Protocol engage, the ship's AI announced. Quantum shields at maximum. Displacement array charged. The first Carven battleship fired, a massive burst of plasma streaking toward the Nightingale. The energy washed over the quantum shield, which didn't so much absorb the attack as shift it slightly out of phase with reality. No damage, Jackson reported, unable to keep the satisfaction from his voice. Shield efficiency at 97%. Elena nodded, targeting solutions for all 7 vessels. Commander, Takeda interrupted. We're receiving a transmission from a Conclave observer ship. They're demanding to know what's happening. Let them watch, Elena replied. It's time the galaxy learned what humanity is truly capable of. Target the Carven command carrier first. Displacement array at 30% power. The Nightingale's primary weapon was unlike anything the Conclave or Carven had encountered. A quantum displacement field that didn't destroy matter so much as shift it partially out of normal spacetime. The effect on solid objects was catastrophic, tearing molecular bonds apart as different sections of matter existed in different quantum states simultaneously. A pulse of blue-white energy lanced from the Nightingale, striking the Carven command carrier amidships. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a wave rippling through water, distortion spread across the massive ship. Metal bent and twisted, folding in on itself as sections of the vessel occupied the same space in different quantum states. Within seconds, the kilometer-long warship imploded, leaving nothing but scattered debris. Silence fell across the Nightingale's bridge. 1 down, Elena said quietly. Target the next vessel. The remaining Carven ships reacted with panicked fury, all turning to focus their firepower on the human vessel. Energy weapons and missile barrages filled space, only to be absorbed or deflected by the quantum shields. 1 by 1, the Nightingale systematically eliminated the Carven battle group. The displacement array fired with perfect precision, each shot causing a Carven vessel to collapse in on itself. In less than 15 minutes, 6 of the 7 ships had been destroyed. The final vessel, the Carven flagship, attempted to flee, its engines flaring as it accelerated away from the colony. They're charging their fold drive, Jackson reported. 10 seconds to jump. Elena considered for a moment. Let them go. Takeda looked at her in surprise. Commander, someone needs to tell the story, Elena replied. And we need witnesses when we announce ourselves to the Conclave. As the Carven flagship vanished into fold space, Elena opened a channel to Earth Central. Admiral Hassan's face appeared, his expression a mixture of relief and pride. Epsilon Eridani is secure, Admiral, Elena reported. 6 Carven warships destroyed. 1 fled. The colony is safe. Hassan nodded. Excellent work, Commander. And the Conclave observer. They witnessed everything. I expect we'll be hearing from the High Council very soon. Hassan's smile was grim. Then it's time for Phase 2. Return to Earth, Commander. The real diplomacy is about to begin. As the Nightingale engaged its quantum fold drive, Elena looked out at the stars. Humanity had hidden in plain sight for 3 years, playing the role of technological inferior while perfecting systems the Conclave had never imagined possible. The deception had been necessary. Earth couldn't afford to become a target before they were ready. Now, the galaxy would know the truth. Humans weren't just another species to be patronized and controlled. They were innovators, pioneers who had taken different technological paths than the Conclave races, and in some ways that mattered greatly in this dangerous galaxy, they had surpassed their would-be masters. The age of humanity's subservience was over, the aftermath of victory. The Grand Hall of the Galactic Conclave hadn't been this crowded in centuries. Representatives from all 23 member species packed the tiered seating, their murmurs creating a symphony of clicks, whistles, and harmonic tones. At the center of the chamber, projected on a massive holographic display, was the battle footage from Epsilon Eridani, the systematic destruction of 6 Carven warships by a single human vessel. High Counselor Vexor's crystalline form reflected fractured light as he addressed the assembly. This emergency session of the Conclave will now come to order. We are here to address the unexpected developments concerning Earth and their technological capabilities. Seated in the human delegation's previously insignificant position was Admiral Hassan, flanked by Commander Elena Reyes and Dr. Marcus Chen, Earth's leading quantum physicist. Their expressions remained carefully neutral despite the waves of tension rolling through the chamber. 3 solar cycles ago, Vexor continued, a human vessel designated Nightingale engaged and destroyed a Carven battle group that had invaded Epsilon Eridani. The human vessel demonstrated technology far beyond what Earth had previously disclosed to the Conclave. A Zexian representative rose, multifaceted eyes gleaming. This constitutes a deliberate deception. Humanity violated the Technological Disclosure Compact of their provisional membership. Admiral Hassan stood, his weathered face impassive. The compact requires disclosure of weapon systems that utilize known scientific principles. The Nightingale's displacement array operates on principles previously unknown to the Conclave. We were under no obligation to share theoretical breakthroughs. Convenient interpretation, hissed a Morrigan representative, its gelatinous form rippling with agitation. But accurate, Hassan replied. Furthermore, the Nightingale acted to protect a civilian colony when Conclave forces refused to intervene. 30,000 lives were saved while this council debated diplomatic responses to an invasion. The chamber erupted in overlapping translations and outraged responses. High Counselor Vexor raised a crystalline appendage, and silence gradually returned. What interests this council, Vexor said carefully, is not the legal technicalities but the implications. Humanity has demonstrated military capability that rivals or exceeds our most advanced fleets. This changes the balance of power. That was never our intention, Hassan replied. Earth seeks only security and equal standing among the galactic community. We developed the quantum displacement technology because we had to, because conventional paths were closed to us by Conclave restrictions. At the far end of the chamber, a door slid open. A reptilian figure entered, escorted by security drones. The Carven commander, the sole survivor of the battle group that had attacked Epsilon Eridani. Fleet Commander Zishk, Vexer acknowledged. You have been granted temporary diplomatic immunity to provide testimony. The carven scales glittered under the chamber lights as he addressed the assembly. The human vessel appeared worthless, a primitive patrol craft with outdated weapons. We targeted it first as a mercy kill, his slitted eyes fixed on Commander Reyes. Then it changed. Its hull reconfigured. Our scans couldn't penetrate its defenses, and the weapon it deployed. His voice trailed off, a hiss escaping between sharp teeth. The weapon unmade my ships. Not destroyed, unmade. Matter folding into itself, existing and not existing simultaneously. Nothing in our experience prepared us for such technology. Dr. Chen stood, adjusting his spectacles. The quantum displacement array doesn't destroy matter in the conventional sense. It creates a localized field where quantum uncertainty principles operate at a macroscopic level. Objects within the field experience probability collapse across multiple states simultaneously. In simple terms, Alina added, seeing the confusion across many alien faces, it forces matter to exist in multiple realities at once. Most molecular bonds can't survive that stress. And you developed this independently? Asked a Tarsian representative, its mechanical voice incredulous. Necessity drives innovation, Dr. Chen replied. When conventional avenues of research were restricted by conclave limitations, we explored alternatives. Quantum mechanics has been a human obsession for centuries. High Counselor Vexer's crystalline form shifted, refracting light in patterns that indicated deep thought. The question before this council is how to proceed. Earth has demonstrated military capability that could threaten galactic stability. Or enhance it, Hassan countered. The Carven have been raiding border worlds for decades while the Conclave debated responses. One human ship ended that threat in a single engagement. From the upper tiers of the chamber, an ancient Aelonian elder, one of the founding species of the Conclave, raised a tendril. The chamber fell silent. The Aelonians rarely spoke at council meetings. I have observed 17,000 years of galactic politics, the elder's translator conveyed. In that time, many species have risen and fallen, but few have demonstrated humanity's particular talent. And what talent is that? Vexer asked. Deception as strategy, the elder replied. For 3 years, humans have played the role of technological inferiors, enduring condescension, accepting restrictions, all while developing capabilities beyond our understanding. They turned our dismissal into their advantage. Alina couldn't help but smile slightly. The Aelonian had perfectly understood Earth's approach. This wasn't just about technology, she said, addressing the chamber. It was about perception. You saw what you expected to see. Primitive humans with outdated ships. You scanned the Nightingale multiple times and found exactly what we wanted you to find. Because we integrated quantum uncertainty into the ship's very structure, Dr. Chen added. When not actively observed, portions of the vessel exist in superposition, simultaneously there and not there. Your scanning technology, advanced as it is, operates on deterministic principles that can't detect quantum superposition. A murmur ran through the assembly as the implications became clear. How many other human ships might harbor similar capabilities? How many other secrets might Earth be keeping? In a private chamber adjacent to the main hall, a smaller meeting convened hours later. High Counselor Vexer, the Aelonian elder, and representatives from 5 other senior conclave species faced Admiral Hassan and Commander Reyes across a floating obsidian table. Earth's provisional status is clearly untenable. Vexer began without preamble. The question is what replaces it. Hassan placed a data crystal on the table. Our proposal, full membership with equal standing, including removal of all research restrictions and territorial limitations. In exchange, we offer limited technological exchange on quantum displacement theory. Limited, questioned a Zexian representative. We'll share the basic principles, Hassan clarified. Enough for your scientists to understand the approach. Application will be your own challenge. And if we refuse, The question came from a Morrigan, its form pulsing with skepticism. Elena leaned forward. Then nothing changes immediately. Earth continues to develop independently. But consider this. We revealed the Nightingale only because circumstances forced our hand. There are other projects, other technologies we've developed while playing the role you assigned us. The implicit threat hung in the air, unspoken but understood. The Aelonian elder's tendril waved gently. Humans practice deception, not just with technology, but with words. What they offer is reasonable. What they withhold is. The translator paused, searching for the right word. Prudent. 3 days of negotiations followed, culminating in the Earth Accords, a treaty that fundamentally reshaped humanity's place in the galaxy. Earth received full conclave membership, unrestricted colonization rights within Sol's spatial quadrant, and representation on all major councils. In exchange, humanity shared basic theoretical frameworks for quantum displacement technology and agreed to deploy it only against external threats, never against conclave members. 1 month later, Commander Elena Reyes stood on the observation deck of Earth's orbital station, watching as a fleet of ships prepared to depart. Unlike the deliberately ramshackle appearance of the Nightingale, these vessels displayed their advanced technology proudly, sleek hulls with the characteristic blue shimmer of quantum integration. Admiral Hassan joined her at the viewport. The first colonial expansion fleet, 20 ships heading to establish presence in systems previously deemed off-limits. How's the Conclave taking it? Elena asked, publicly. They're celebrating humanity's contributions to galactic security. Privately, they're terrified. Our technological divergence caught them completely unprepared. Elena nodded. And the Nightingale? Being refitted as we speak, she'll serve as the template for our new defensive fleet. Hassan paused. The Carven have withdrawn from all contested systems, by the way. Apparently, the idea of facing more ships like yours was sufficient deterrent. They attacked because they thought we were weak, Elena observed. A mistake the galaxy is unlikely to make again. That's the irony, Hassan said with a slight smile. For centuries, humanity dreamed of joining a galactic community as equals. We finally achieved it not through diplomacy or cultural exchange, but by becoming what the galaxy understands best, a military power to be reckoned with. Elena watched as the colonial fleet engaged their drives, disappearing one by one into the quantum fold. Humanity had kept secrets, had played the long game when thrust onto the galactic stage. The deception had been necessary. Earth couldn't afford to be targeted before they were ready. Now, no one would dare underestimate them again. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't the one that inspires fear, but the one no one sees coming. And humans, it seemed, excelled at being underestimated. As the last ship vanished into the quantum fold, Elena couldn't help but wonder what other secrets might be hiding among the stars. If humans could develop technology that the ancient conclave had never imagined, what might other emerging species be concealing? The age of humanity's subservience was over. The age of vigilance had just begun.